This is almost a strange topic, and it's whether or not we can see issues of how the Creator's laws and decrees are carried out from the decrees that came from the Medes and the Persians. Now, it's specifically said in Daniel 6:8 that the laws, once they go into writing, cannot be changed. And it says specifically for the Medes and Persians. But we get the same thing, which again we should, the same nation that deals with it, in Esther. And Esther says it a couple times, but Esther 1:9. Once it goes into writing, it cannot be changed. And I think on that, and I look at the Creator, and I see from Malachi 3:6, I change not. I'm the Creator, I change not. Now, those who are new to faith can say, well, this is a factor of who and what He is. If He made the laws of the Torah, He's not going to change because He can't change. And that's a true aspect. It absolutely is truth. So He's not going to change that. But there's a secondary level here. And it's one of the things when I know that it's factors of how I approach things when I have a problem with what is there. And let me be very blunt on what I'm saying and what I'm meaning on that. I really kind of want to explain that first, but I don't think I can since I've opened that can of worms. So, like I'll look in Obadiah. Obadiah's only one chapter, so Obadiah 1. And the kingdom of Edom is destroyed. It's gone, or it will be. And I look at that and I say, yes, but Job would be from the kingdom of Edom. And God, he was one of your favorites. You love Job. Remember his children. But the decree is there. It can't be changed. But, and this is really one of the factors, and again, this is a factor of my training as a lawyer. We see a law, and that's fine. It's a thing of how can we do things to get around what's there. And there is a way. And it forms how I pray on certain things, specifically with regards to Edom and those who are the family of Job. And I will sit and say, okay, they have to be destroyed, but you are bringing someone into faith from every nationality. All the 72 different nationalities that we have in Genesis 11. I'll go back and check on which chapter that is. But Table of Nations. And so bring those who are in Edom into faith. That allows His law to go forward and allows that saving aspect to come to the children from Job. And I think that is consistent with how He would want us to do things. That's a way to bring them in. Now, there's one other way, and that is to say, okay, well, they shouldn't be there. Well, I don't like that answer and that method of prayer because, one, that's almost a sign of weakness, that if they're not, we almost need them to not be there so that we can't handle them. And again, we can't handle anything, but the Creator can. But I also see them coming back at the end of the 1,000-year reign. I think that's a problem. So He's doing this for our protection. So I'm not praying that they leave. I'm praying that more of them come to faith. And this kind of comes in, I had training as a lawyer, and so I see when I look at the Torah and I see the law, I see um, orders and exceptions, and I see the law in that, the laws I've been trained to deal with. And I'm sure most of us in our jobs see that. If you are a chemist, I bet you see the creator's handling of how he puts these elements together. If you are, um, you know, right on down the line, almost for any job, because he's created everything. I bet you can see him when you do your job. I could almost bet you see him in that job. Um, and I'll leave it at that. Like I said, that's just one of those things. Is he using the other kings and those factors from the Bible where he's discussing other kings to show us how he would be dealt with? And remember in Esther how he dealt with that decree to destroy, annihilate. What was the other word? Destroy, kill, and annihilate, and then plunder their possessions. And that couldn't be changed because it was in writing. So Mordecai and Esther had to work out a way to deal with that where it didn't change the order. But they said, okay, but you can defend yourself. And if you win, then you get to plunder the stuff for the people who came after you. So, and I'm not trying to say this in any way to say be subversive to the Creator. And I want to make sure that we're completely clear on that. I'm not trying to say be subversive, but I am saying we should pray for our enemies. And if we're praying for our enemies, what's the best way to pray for your enemies? To bring them into your group. And we see that with Esther as well. Those who were in that nation, they joined the Jews. They became Jews because they realized, okay, this is the way to go. And I think that's what I'm really meaning. I'm not trying to say, he says, wear a seat. Well, then we'll try to do something so we change that. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying when you have a decree out there, which Obadiah is a decree, and it can't be changed, but we can ask for many of them, as much as he will allow, to come into our faith.